Oh, hey, he's reviewing albums now. That's pretty neat. Some of you probably already know that I review albums because I've made a few of them in the past, but the style of this one's going to be quite different than those last few. This one's going to be much like a few other videos I've made in the past. One album, one listen, around one sentence per song. Allows me to make videos without taking away too much time from schoolwork. Sound good? Too bad, because that's how I'm doing it. First album up for review is Sounding the Seventh Trumpet by Avenged Sevenfold. Let's get into it! Just a disjointed intro for the next song, but holy shit, what an intro it was. Oh boy, listening to Shadows scream instead of sing is going to take some serious adjusting to. You know, I really dug this one. And let me just say that Jimmy is a fucking monster behind the kit. The drum solo in the middle of the song is really all I need to justify that. Those Fry screams, holy shit, no wonder Shadows eventually lost his voice. I really wasn't feeling this one until the piano outro. Now it's passable. Can't say I was expecting that. I think this one has my favorite guitar work on the album so far. A piano ballad. There's everything else. Pretty inoffensive, but nothing absolutely remarkable either. So far, every song, minus Warmness on the Soul, has sounded pretty much the same. Can we get a teeny bit more variety with this, please? Okay, this one is pure chaos, and I am here for it. The end kind of plants seeds for some of their newer stuff, and I like that. So, is that a no on that variety I ordered a few songs back? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, this is starting to sound like the A7X that I know and like a whole hell of a lot more. Alright, I'm going to take this song to say that throughout the entire album I had a seriously difficult time hearing Shadow's vocals. Either he was way too quiet or the instrumentals were way too goddamn loud. Well, that's the album. Overall, I'd say the album was okay at best, even though it had about as much variety as a standard Rascal Flatts affair. If I had to score it, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 10. Alright, that's it for me. I'll be back next week to review Avenged Sevenfold's next album, Waking the Fallen, as part of a 7-part project to get through most of their studio discography. Goodbye for now. Holy shit, I was actually a man of my word on timing for once. I'm going to try to keep the intro relatively short this time so we can get right into it. Anyway, it's time for part 2 of my journey through Avenged Sevenfold's studio discography. Let's get into the video and talk about Waking the Fallen. Shares the same mixing issue as the entire first album. I can barely tell Shadows is singing. One of Avenged's most popular songs, and for good reason. I really like this one. So, the only thing I don't like about this song is how it's track 3 on the album. They really missed a golden opportunity with that one. So, sounding the 7th trumpet was a fluke? Good. Good, I was hoping so. Well, this was an interesting one, to say the very least. Boys, I cannot even explain to you the noise that came out of my mouth when this riff first started playing. Okay, did it have to be 7 minutes? Well, yes, but still. Oh hey, I actually got to headbang for the first time in a long time. That's always something. I was always a firm believer that Avenged was better when their songs stayed short. I mean, I still think that, but this song is still pretty good. sure this is part 2 to the last song? Because this sounds almost entirely different. Yeah, whatever. Have I mentioned that I love Sinister Gates yet? This album definitely likes the long songs that have at least one slow section. They've had quite a few on this album. And that was Waking the Fallen. At the end of it all, I'd say it was pretty good. If I had to score it, it'd be a 7 out of 10. That's all for me. I'll be back next week to review City of Evil. See you then. Time for part 3, baby. Let's go. I'm ready. Just like SpongeBob, let's jump right in and talk about City of Evil. Okay, so this is when shit's gonna start getting awesome? Works for me. A little reminiscent of the last 2 albums in terms of feeling like maximum chaos, but I like that it's still relatively close to the City of Evil sound. Okay, here's hoping this album isn't top heavy because that'd be really disappointing. Oh yeah, shit has officially gotten awesome. Only took me 3 episodes to finally talk about Johnny Christ. Love how he gets a special spotlight during this one. I feel like only Avenged can put a metal solo over an acoustic chord progression and have it work. I legit have no words. This is really fucking good. Wait, don't those technically count as words? Who would have thought that actually having guitar solos would make metal songs better? I have no idea how it took them 3 albums to finally start using them. Well, this one was interesting. Strange. Normally metal songs that include violins are automatically great. Okay, I found this one to easily be the weakest entry on the album, but it's still pretty good. So, the album wasn't top heavy? No. No, it was not. And that's City of Evil. At the end of it all, I'd say that it was one of the best albums I've listened to from top to bottom. If I had to score it, it'd be an 8.5 out of 10. That's all for me. I'll be back next week to review the self-titled album. See you then. Here's a fun fact. Coming into this project, the only album that I've talked about or am going to talk about that I've had no previous exposure to was Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. Every album since that one, I've heard at least one song from it, or in the case of this one, at least half of it. Yeah, this one's going to be tough to review with any sense of objectivity, but whatever. With that out of the way, let's talk about stop number 4 in this miniseries, the self-titled album, Avenged Sevenfold. Starting off with my most played song on Spotify for 2020, safe to say I like it quite a bit. You know that mindset that you can develop when you like something a whole lot but can't put your finger on exactly why? That's how I am with this song. If you're gonna write a song about bumping uglies, might as well give it all the panache you can. Is this song in the conversation of being Avenged's best? Because it fucking should be. Okay, how am I not used to these acoustic to metal transitions yet? I feel like they've done it a handful of times now. Man, this sensory overload fucking slaps. How long has it been since I've called one of these songs weak? These have all hit so far. That dual guitar solo is just mwah. You had my heart. Once you understand what's going on in the song, you realize that it's incredibly fucked up, but God, do I love it. Gunslinger's intro set the table so Dear God could feast. And And that's the self-titled album. At the end of it all, I'd say that it was somehow even better than City of Evil. If I had to score it, it'd be a 9 out of 10. That's all for me. I'll be back next week to review Nightmare. See you then. Hey, so remember last week when I said there were some albums I've heard pretty much half of already? Yeah, that's this one too. Doesn't matter why that is, we'll just ignore that for now and get to talking about the next album, Nightmare. So did these guys really get all their weak stuff out of the way in their first album?
Hey kid, do I have your attention? I know the way.
Oh hey, it's another song that I really like but can't explain why. Let's hope this doesn't become a regular thing for future reviews. Holy shit, I love the bridge and transition into the solo. It's so rare to hear anything by Avenged that's even remotely mellow, and I really love the way it comes out when it does happen. The transition from subdued to the norm blew my mind when I first heard it. Still does to this day, to be honest. To be honest, this one just strikes me as an extended version of Welcome to the Family, which is a good thing to have.
Never feared for anything.
A beautiful tribute to the band's former drummer Jimmy the Rev Sullivan, who passed away before the record was finished. That was this song, right? I don't know. Whenever I listen to this song, my neighbors do too. Some of Shadow's vocal runs are a teeny bit off-putting for a metal song, but it doesn't really take anything away from it. Okay, just so you know, anyone who thinks that Avenged can't do acoustic songs is a filthy liar. I don't personally know anyone who thinks that, but I can almost guarantee they're out there somewhere. I always wonder what guitarists do during piano ballads like this. Do they have clean guitar parts, or do they just get a break to rest their fingers? I may never know. This shit's 11 minutes, it better go by fast.
Tonight.
Okay, it's not bad by any stretch, but I much prefer a Nightwish 10 minutes to an Avenged 10 minutes. And that's Nightmare. At the end of it all, I'd say it was really good. If I had to score it, it'd be an 8.5 out of 10. That's all for me. I'll be back next week to review whichever one is up next. I don't remember. See you then. We're getting really close to the end of this miniseries, my friends. Only 2 more albums to go, including this one. Some might say this is the most grueling of all, but we'll have to see about that. I know those who know Avenged Sevenfold have been waiting very patiently, and now they get their reward. It's finally time to talk about Hail to the King. I learned the rhythm guitar parts for this song just so I could play it while my home state was on fire. No regrets. Another awesome title track. They seem to really nail those.
I'm maintaining addiction. Been known to take it to.
The main riff. Please inject it into my veins. Okay, I can buy this one being a knockoff Sad But True, but that doesn't make it bad by default, maybe just a little unoriginal. This whole thing honestly sounded like someone just improvising over a movie soundtrack, and I was not a huge fan of that. It only took like 4 albums, but I finally found another Avenged song that I don't like. Someone sound the fucking alarms. It's just a bit meh. Not bad, but it's really not interesting either. Okay, can someone please turn up Johnny's track? He hasn't gotten an opportunity to shine in a while, and damn it, he deserves it! Why did this song have to be on this album? Genuine question. While this album may not be very strong, the one thing it has done really well is show off Sin's shredding abilities. alright, I guess. Kind of cut from the same cloth as Crimson Day. And that's Hail to the King. At the end of it all, I'd say, aside from a few standouts, it was okay, but pretty weak when stacked up with the last few albums I talked about. If I had to score it, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. That's all for me. I'll be back next week to review The Stage, which is our final stop on this walkthrough Avenged Sevenfold studio discography. See you then. One last album to go in this miniseries. No bullshit, no time wasting. Let's jump straight in and talk about The Stage. From top to bottom, everything about this song is fucking exquisite, and I love it. Once again, the title track is very strong. This one almost feels like they wanted to go back and make something that sounded like the older stuff, only, you know, make it better. I could easily see this fitting in with their earlier albums. Does this song have a mother freaking trumpet section in it? I feel like they constantly pull this shit off. This verse riff, God, I love it. How is it that Sin keeps outdoing himself on these solos? I'd say it was okay. Nothing stellar, but far from bad. This is the closest I felt to actual physical whiplash since I listened to Backwards by Rascal Flatts for the first time. This one has a really interesting sound to it that I don't feel like I can do justice with an explanation after just one listen. But since I only allow myself one listen, I have to move on. I love when Avenged slows down. I know I've mentioned it, but I feel the need to say it again, especially with this one. It's pretty damn great. Just kind of in the same boat as Angels, to be honest. Okay. I don't care how good the song is. 15 minutes for one song is pretty goddamn excessive. Did this song really have to be that long? Also, I gotta say, I love the fact that they just randomly have Neil deGrasse Tyson in the background explaining shit about the universe. And that's The Stage. At the end of it all, I'd say that it was pretty good. Not as high as their best, but also not as low as their worst. If I had to score it, it would be a 7 out of 10. That's all from me. Next week's video will be a supercut of every single Avenged Sevenfold video I released over the past couple weeks. See you in a few weeks for the next one.